Joan with another Coffee with Kim, and we are here with Karen Box Anderson. And welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Kim, for having me.
Good. So I'm so excited to learn that you're from Colorado Springs because I interviewed your sister, and I'm like, wait, they're well, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, we share a studio here in Colorado Springs. We're actually in a building that is full of artists. So it's called Cottonwood Center of the Arts. I'm a massage therapist too.
Okay.
So I first came here, it was, I think, in 2015 to this building, and I was upstairs. But when I moved upstairs, my whole goal was to finally get downstairs. And so, and it happened pretty quick. So then my sister decided to move in too. And so she moved upstairs. And then when she came downstairs, there was this big studio that was coming vacant. So her and I decided to move in together. Wow. So we have one of the biggest studios here at Cottonwood. And so she sits over there, and then I have my little space here. And then we have a little showroom that we show our jewelry, and then her parfleche. And then I also have my massage room on the other side. So yeah, so it's kind of fun.
Is it like a biz hub or a co-op of some sort?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a co-op, you know, of all sorts of artists. We have textile artists, we have ceramics, painters, basket makers, and then of course me and Deb. So
what an inspiration. So I'm assuming because you guys work so closely together, you inspire each other.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. we watch movies while we're sitting here, and then we just talk and we collaborate and, you know, run ideas off of each other. So
right. So I noticed on your bio that you're a mixed media artist. Can you tell us what that is?
You know, mixed media, I kind of like to mix all of my metals together, if that makes sense. You know, I would never say I'm a traditional type artist, because, you know, to me, that's more of, you know, like Southwest jewelers. I mean, to me, they are the pinnacle of, you know, just, that's what I would love to become. Somebody who is just so, who have been doing this for years and years and years. And, you know, I look at their jewelry and I'm just in awe of whatever they create. So to me, you know, my stuff, I like to stamp. I like to do a lot of stamping in my designs. And one of my favorite jewelers, his name is Norbert, and he does these beautiful, beautiful stamped work. He, just the stuff he makes is just beautiful. But, so that's what I would like to achieve, is to just be able to stamp like him. What I've been doing lately.
An example of what a stamp is? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, well, actually our stamps are over there, but this is my my stamp here for my name. So it's just a little stamp that you use, and then you put it on the metal, and then you get your hammer and stuff, and you know. But this is just kind of the stuff that I had that I've been stamping.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, and so this piece here, this one here, is we took a class from an artist down in Pueblo. His name is Michael Boyd, and he does this gold on argentium silver, and then we put it through the roller mill, and it gets really thin. And this is copper and argentium here. You just run it through the roller mill, and it gets, you know, spread out more and more. But what I like to do is I like to cut them out like this, and then I dome them, and then I like to put them in bezels. So, and then a lot of my bezels that I do, like the backs of my bezels have designs on them, just because I like to use up all of my silver that's, you know, left over from other projects. Right. So a lot of my, the backs of my pieces are all different, you know, they're not the same.
And is that an example of mixed media?
Yeah, it kind of is, because this is argentium silver with gold and then just, sterling silver. So what I also like, I've been experimenting with lately is I've been using all my scrap pieces and
Oh,
then soldering them together and then just putting like this is labradorite.
yeah.
And then I've just attached it with soldered on a jump ring so that it kind of dangles.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, so I've just been kind of doing stuff like that with whatever scraps I have. And then this is another example of some picture jasper that I did.
Mm,
And these are earrings here that are stamped and then have a different back. This one here is a
right.
stamped back. So yeah, so those are just some of the kind of the fun pieces I've had. And then this is another one that I was working on. It's just some earrings that have a disc.
Oh, I love those.
I do too.
I
And
do.
then it's just these are just kind of fun little earrings, but this is my favorite piece here. This is labrador or lapis and then fossilized coral. And then on the back has a texture on it. And then the chain is all sterling silver. But what I like about it is it's asymmetrical because this side is kind of oblong and this side is just all circles.
Well, that's very creative.
Yeah, I just love this piece. That's why I think if nobody buys it, I'm going to keep it for myself.
I'll give you 1 day online, and if you don't buy it, sorry.
so yeah. So anyway,
That's
yeah.
cool. Because I noticed in your bio, you like to do bold pieces.
I do. And and I think that probably comes from when I first started doing this, not the sterling silver, but we had taken up a class at the Fine Arts Center. And it was just kind of putting, stringing up beads and then, putting a clasp on it. And then once we did a lot of those, I was like, okay, where can I take this? Because, we did few little shows and people bought stuff and I was really excited. And then I started going to, I had a couple of clients that were belly dancers. And so they were like, you should come in, to the shows and sell your work. So I thought, okay. So I did. And then it was like, all of a sudden it opened up a whole new group of people. And so, yeah, so, a lot of my pieces, because a lot of those dancers like, something big and so I started making big stuff and, and I kind of like that myself. But after we got done with, kind of doing the little stringing up beads and making necklaces and little earrings and stuff, I wanted to make my own findings. And that would be just like, say, doing a clasp, like a toggle clasp, like this here. You just have a little
Right.
a T bar, and then you just put it in like that. So I wanted to start making my own findings for my necklaces, and so I started getting some the DIY type stuff, and going online and trying to figure it out myself, and it wasn't working. And so I finally started looking around for schools, and I found one up in Denver called the Denver School of Metal Arts. And that's when I convinced Deb to come with me because I thought, I don't want to drive all the way up there by myself. So her and I decided to enroll in Metals 1. And we made a ring, a pendant, and earrings. And so we were kind of hooked at that point because we thought, this is fun.
How long ago did you guys do that?
That was in 2015.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So then from there, we took Metals 2 and we made a bracelet and, a couple other things. And, basically at that point, we started taking some workshops and everything. But a lot of it is, what can you do on your own? And so, I would just sketch out stuff and I think, how do I make this? And you'd have to sit there and think through the process. And then finally once we got our studio here and my husband set us up with a torch and, we started getting comfortable with, our torch and everything, that was it. You know, it was like the light bulb turned on and we were ready to go. And yeah, so it's been so much fun. I mean, I've had such a great time, you know, making things and, you know, having people, you know, buy them, and they're just so amazed at, you know, what you can make, you know, and so am I. So, but what I really like to do too is I like to make chains. These are another thing I like to do is I like just to make chain. You know, I like to just make sterling silver chains with my pendants, just because
Love.
when I buy a piece, especially a pendant, I have a lot of pendants, but you know, then you have to find a necklace for them, a chain. And then it's like, you know, is it big enough for the pendant? Is it, you know? And so I just thought I'm going to make my own chain for my pendants. And so that's what I've been doing. And, you know, I just love them. So,
Love that whole concept of you making chains for pendants, because I feel like, especially if you get a big one, if you don't
mhm,
have a chain that like matches its boldness, like you
right,
kind of lose it, right?
right. Yeah, you do. You do.
Is it easy to make those chains?
You know, well, for me, it's kind of therapeutic for me because I can sit there and cut my wire and then I can form it and then I solder them all together, and then I have to figure out my pattern, and then, you know, figure out the ones that I've already soldered and then the ones I need to open up so that I can solder my whole chain together. So it's kind of this process that you have to think about. It's very methodical, and I enjoy doing that, you
Wow.
know. So yeah.
Yeah, some people do cross stitching, you do chain making.
Yeah. Yeah, and to me, if I had to do cross stitch, no, it wouldn't be a good thing. So so
That's
yeah.
Yeah, you know, in reference to that work that you're doing, so I'm assuming that then that is the work that you're doing for SWAIA, is just these very unique pieces.
Right. Yeah. And I do on my SWAIA on my website page, I do have a place where I have whimsy, funky and whimsy, and that's more of my I don't say that's my SWAIA stuff because that's kind of stuff that, you know, is crazy stuff. You know, it's I've made chains and it, you know, it I've attached it to different things, you know, and so, you know, that's for people that, you know, don't want to, you know, they can wear it every day if they want to, you know. So,
Right.
but yeah,
So I'm assuming you're on Artspan,
I am.
your
And
website.
I
Awesome.
I am, and I really like it.
Oh,
I and it's funny because Deb and I both worked at a company for over 25 years. And so we were always on the computer, we were always, you know, working. And after I left that job, after I got laid off in 2007, I that's when I went into massage school. And I thought I will never look at another computer again. And and now it's like I'm always on the computer again, you know, because I'm always checking my website, I'm always checking my emails, I'm always checking. So I feel like I'm back at work again, you know. So, but it's fun. I mean, I enjoy it. So
in reference to sales on Artspan, since you started, has it been profitable for you?
it's, you know, it's been good. You know, I have no complaints. And you know, I kind of like to look at the analysis of it. You know, I like to go to the reports page, and I like to see, you know, who's been looking and what the trends are. And, you know, so yeah, I kind of like that part.
Yeah, no, I think data analytics is so important. It helps us to pivot and
It
make
does.
adjustments, and so it's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I have no complaints about that. So
So Karen, how long have you been a Swire juried artist?
um I would have never, ever, ever applied. But my sister a couple of years ago said, you know, you need to apply, you know, and I thought, I don't know. Because I've always helped her and my dad when he used to show at SWAIA. And so I always helped them. And I never thought about it. And then in 2018, Yes, 2018. I finally thought, you know what, let me get my pictures together. So I was doing it on the last day that everything was due. Yeah. And so I thought, well, if they call me, that, if I get in, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. And then I got my letter and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was really excited and I did very well at the market. And then the next year, I applied. And I, for some reason, and I'm not sure exactly why, in 2019 I wasn't feeling it, and I just, something was not right. And then when I didn't get in, I thought, that's okay. I'm fine with it. I'm still going to be a part of it because Deb's going to be in there, and it was all good. And then, so then when she says, apply again. And so I thought, okay, because I had made some new pieces and I thought, yes, I was all excited. And then when we got in, I was like, yes. So we
Yeah.
were excited. And so I had even taken a picture of our applications and, that we had gotten in, our letters of acceptance. And I was just going to put them out on our Facebook page and our Instagram. And then that's when they shut everything down for COVID. And I was like, I don't think they're going to have it this year. So, yeah. So, but, what can we do?
Now look at you. You've got a website and you're creating. I mean, I love that.
I love it too. And I think through this whole year, I think that's been, something that's just really been my saving grace and my therapy is to be able to come here and create something every day, even if it was burning a piece of metal and torching it to oblivion. It was it was all good, and so to me, it just kept me grounded. It kept me going because, of course, when COVID hit, I basically stopped all my massages because we're around my 91-year-old or my 90-year-old dad.
Right.
And I just thought, what, it's not worth any of us getting sick or and I thought, and I'm not going to worry about it because why should I? There's nothing I can do about it. And so, it was just creating and doing things. And I just, it was a great thing for me.
So I have a unique question for you. Where do you get your gems? Like those were some beautiful, the fossilized coral, like that's amazing.
Yeah. And did you ask where I get my stones?
Where did you find that? Like that to me is like, so just my dad was a jeweler, and one of the things that I really loved about his work, and like I have this little nugget of Mediterranean coral,
Yeah.
that and I just love the coral. So the fact that you have a fossilized coral,
I
love it.
know. And I love touching it too. It's just one of those pieces where you just love touching it. I got this at a show in Denver because they have a gem and mineral show in September. And I had bought this piece probably 4 years ago when I was first, just getting into it. And I thought, I don't know what I'll ever do with this, but I bought it. And then same with the lapis. And now I wish I would have bought more of this type of stuff because at that time I thought, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know. But I thought I'm just going to buy it anyway. And, some now when I look back at my stones, I think, I know what to do with this, and so, it just kind of comes to you, when I'm sitting here and I'm thinking and I'm touching them and just kind of, that's what I like to do. I like to touch them. And I am starting to cut my own stones, which has been kind of interesting. There's a man here in Colorado Springs who cuts his own stones. And so he used to be here in this building. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna call him up and see what he can offer. And so I started cutting my own stones. I'm kind of 50-50 right now. I enjoy it, but I want my pieces to come out more like this. I want them to come out, different shapes and stuff. I just don't want them symmetrical.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm still working on that. And so I'm kind of 50-50 on cutting stones. I kind of like to have them already cut and polished.
And I'm assuming that you're saying that because it's a challenge, like they break or they.
Yeah. And right now my husband has set up a little studio in our garage for stone cutting, because he also likes to cut stones. And so he has been going crazy. But for me to get out there, he has a heater and everything all set up. But for me to get out there, I want the water warmer, and I want to be able to just, enjoy myself. I don't like to be cold out there. So yeah, so I guess maybe in the springtime it'll be better. But right now I'm just kind of,
So I'm looking at the stone on your neck.
Oh yeah, this is a dinosaur bone. And this is this is one of the ones that I cut. And then I like this piece.
Okay, now that's pretty fab, a dinosaur bone.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur bone.
Wow.
And yeah, and then this is one of the pieces that I did my own bezel. I made my own bezel on. So I used silver, and then we melted it down, and then roller milled it out. And yeah, it was quite the process, but I really enjoyed it. And then this is one of the, this is just crystals. And I think these are, glass beads and moonstone beads too, that so yeah, so I just kind of strung it up, and I thought that went really well with it. So
yeah. Well, that's very, very awesome. Very creative.
yeah.
Because this is what I love about the stone cutting, is that the stone actually tells you what shape it wants to be.
It does. And that's why this dinosaur bone was so nice to work with, because it just kind of did its own little thing. And I didn't have to work with it very much. Some of the lapis that we've bought rough, it's a little bit more to work with. And I guess I have a preconceived notion in my head of what I want it to look like. And I have to tell myself that's not what it's going to do. It wants to do its own thing. And then when I force it, then it breaks or it cracks. So yeah. And then it ends up this big. So
dinosaur bone, I'm assuming, because it's fossilized, is extremely hard.
I'm still trying to read more about what is hard and what is softer. And to me, this was so easy to work with. And I think it's like medium. I think it's right there in the middle. It's not really super hard, but then it's not, really soft either. So, but I really enjoyed working with it. And I love this color because it was a bluish and brown. Yeah.
I think that a fossil bone would be bluish.
Exactly.
What is your domain site? Is it Karen Box?
It is. It's KarenBox.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to have met you, and the fact that I just interviewed your sister and then I got the opportunity to interview you. So,
I know.
well, I just have one more question before we go. Yeah. This is me asking you to send our artists, whether they're SWAIA or not, just encouragement. What would you have to say to them? Because I would have to say I would have a little pride, got into SWAIA, then didn't get into SWAIA, and then got back into SWAIA. How did you manage the emotion of that?
For me, it's just, I guess because, my sister's always been in SWAIA, and, my dad was always in SWAIA. And and for me, it was just more of, I don't want to say I didn't think my work was good enough, but you kind of sit there and think, oh, was my work good enough, or was it not good enough? And so to me, I didn't want to get mad because, you know, it doesn't do any good to get mad, in my thought, because it takes a lot of energy to be mad, and, you know, but of course I was disappointed, but I thought, you know what, there's always next year for me. And, you know, and like I said, I have different avenues that I go down. I'm not strictly a native artist. You know, I do other venues too. And, you know, people, when they find out that I am native, then it's like, oh, you know, do you do, you know, they ask me all these questions like, you know, do I make traditional, like a Navajo belt? And it's like, well, no, because I'm not Navajo. And, you know, to me, that's, you know, not what I do. So, but yeah, so I just have different avenues that I can show at too. And I just feel very honored, and I feel very humbled when I see other artists that are just so, to me, they're the rock stars of jewelry. And I just think, gosh, I wish I was started this, you know, 40 years ago. And but, you know, I didn't. I was, you know, worked in corporate, and I didn't pursue that. But yeah. So anyway, I didn't know if I answered your question or not.
And I have to say this, my takeaway from that was that you had the appropriate attitude, and it was not self-destructive to yourself. And I appreciate that. But the other thing that I love about that answer is that jewelry doesn't need to always be turquoise. It doesn't always need to be coral. It can be. And I think that what I love about your story is that there's something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And and it's great. I love the jewelry. I love what you're making. And so, yay.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for talking with me. It was a pleasure. And please, I can't wait to meet you, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you, Kim.
Yes, thank you, Karen. Have a great
All
day.
right. Okay, bye-bye.